Hey there, Commercial Roofing Radio listeners. The team at PeakLeads.io wanted to say a big thank you for tuning in every week. As a way to say thanks, we're giving away 3 Big Roofs prize packages. We'll be selecting 3 winners on November 1st to receive a Big Roofs t-shirt, koozie, stickers, and more. All you need to do to enter is go to peakleads.io/giveaway. That's PeakLeads.io/giveaway. Giveaway is one word. I'll link it in the description of this episode in case you missed it. Huge thank you again for listening. You guys are seriously the best. All right, that's it for me. Enjoy the episode.
What is up, everybody? We are back with another episode of Commercial Roofing Radio. I got a rock star in the house today, folks. I got Brie Reis. Brie, what's going on?
Not too much, Nick. Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, I'm just excited to reconnect a little bit.
I know, right?
I just got genuine questions to ask you, how you're doing, how business is doing, everything like that. How's the summer been?
Summer's been good. It's been really good, actually. It's hot. It's been a hot
Very
year,
hot.
huh?
Very hot.
Yeah, so my guys are just dying out in the field. But other than that, we've been doing really, really good. It's been a good summer. I mean, no hail, but...
Heck yeah, I know. Well, so, I mean, right off the bat, I know you guys did some adjustments.
Yeah.
A little bit of a brand lift in a way, right? Some changes, added an additional service with solar. How's that going?
Yeah, I added additional service with solar and kind of, just getting our toe wet in that in regards to becoming like a solar sales dealer. So right now we're just a sales platform for solar, but we're hiring. We literally just hired our master electrician, so we're going to be installing probably by the end of the year.
Nice.
So that part to me is the most exciting part because that's the most, upside. It's like where solar needs holes filled is an installation.
Do you think this is going to become a big aspect of Elite Roofing and Solar now?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be a very, very large part of our book of business.
You think so?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Why is that?
I don't know if you know anything about the solar side, but if you talk to anybody, like, what was your experience? This is what people say. It took a really, really long time. And the reason it takes so long is because they just simply don't have enough people to install solar. So because that gap is so large, I feel like we have a huge opportunity to fill that and do it in a great way. I feel like it's a bummer that kind of in the, what you hear out there is that like people don't have a great experience with solar installation. They just don't. It takes like 6, 8, 9 months to happen, and we just want to be a part of like the solution there. And I think with the systems and the processes that we kind of already have in place, I think we are very, very strong to be able to,
to execute on that and fulfill that opportunity right there. So when you're looking at solar, so Brie pretty much just said, hey, installation for the customers have been taking too long. They don't have enough installers. So you look at that as a market opportunity, you're like, oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's the demand is too high, it cannot be fulfilled. That's where you want to be. So that's great. Do you think that, you mentioned you already had a lot of processes. And we'll get into the processes. I know that's what you're all about. That's that's where you live. And since I met you, I've been learning a lot about that just for internal stuff. So I'm excited to be talking about that. But were you able to take most of the way you operate like residential roofing and then bring that into solar, or was there pretty big adjustments to that?
So TBD on that.
True.
There's 100% going to be a different process. It's a much longer process. So it would be arrogant, I think, for me to say it's that we're going to walk into it and like know exactly what needs to happen. But as far as the process goes, you order a permit, you know what I mean? You get a license in the jurisdiction, scheduling, all those things. I think that we'll have a really good foundation and we can use that. But I don't want to be, I don't want to box myself into my processes are going to work for solar. I want to be very open-minded to see, okay, how can we take the foundation of our processes and then manipulate them for solar? Because even moving from residential roofing into commercial roofing, that's what that taught me. Like, we are bad. Like,
Oh, yeah. How much different is that, though,
It's
right?
massive. It was almost like going into
Yeah.
a different business.
Yeah.
And so we could not apply how great we did residential production to commercial production. It's just a completely different beast. So that's going to be like my same mindset as we really start to build these systems out for being a solar installer.
Being very open-minded.
Very open-minded, very
Yeah,
open-minded.
and I mean, so do they offer training and stuff like that? Have you connected with other contractors? How have you kind of been learning from other people?
Yeah. So we're a dealer for SunPower, and so they provide a lot of that, like a lot of the training that you need. They're going to come out
great.
and train up our in-house labor. Actually, is what we're going to train up for our solar installation, and so it's not going to be subbed out or anything like that. So,
Oh, you're gonna have it in-house. That's what you're saying with electricity.
yeah,
Okay,
to start. As
Yeah,
we grow,
right.
we'll probably build into subs, but
Yeah. So then, is there an opportunity there too for recurring revenue with service work on solar as well?
yeah, some of the things we do a lot of service at Elite.
Yeah.
We have a 5-man service team, larger than most roofing companies in our market. And we go out to quite a bit of solar service that we can't do anything with because we're not licensed to install. And so we can't take those solar panels off, fix it, and then put those solar panels on. The customer
Got
has
it.
to coordinate that, and then we can come do the repair. But what we're finding a lot of and what we're seeing a lot of is like raccoons or animals that get underneath the solar panels and they just like tear up the roofing material.
I bet. So then that's gonna be an opportunity right there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty good. Anything you can do for additional recurring revenue.
Especially where it's a
Yeah.
challenge. Like I talked to a customer the other day and he's like, I've been trying to get these solar panels, and he inherited the solar panels when he bought the house.
Oh, really?
So I've been trying to get these solar panels taken off so I could get this damage to my roof fixed for like 6 months.
Oh,
like lawyers are involved. Like he can't find anybody that are willing
Oh,
to touch
no.
the panels because. So I'm excited. I think there's just this big giant gap, and we can fill it. And we're not just going to be another. All roofing companies are going into solar right now in
Yeah.
this market specifically because we haven't had hail.
Oh yeah.
So it's not like we're just going to be what all these other roofing companies are doing. We're going to, take all those steps and build the infrastructure to install. Is really going to be the separator.
Yeah, that's gonna be huge. So I do want to give a brief introduction to you for Brie. So she's the CEO of Elite Roofing. She was the third employee there over a decade ago now, 2010. Since then, they've made Inc. 5,000 fast growing companies. I think 2 or 3 times they've reached up to 20 million in revenue, hundreds and hundreds of 5-star reviews. She's a coach at the Roofing Academy, co-owner of Blended Coffee Roasters, Denver Business Journal 40 Under 40, right? So she's a playmaker, right? But so when you took over as CEO, I feel like you went into the hardest environment possible, right? I mean, you had COVID and no hail.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was that like?
I mean, you and I have talked about it a little bit,
Oh, yeah.
but just jumping into that role, apart from the market issues,
Oh,
like separate from the market issues, like stepping into a leadership role like that was challenging, but a lot of fun. And so that the first year we did, that was our largest year in revenue, the first year I took over as CEO. So it was the years after.
Oh, right
And then the
after.
residual
so
from
you
that, it
were
just took
feeling
some time.
you were like, man, this is great, right? I could become the CEO of the company. I hit it, and then all of a sudden the market. I mean, you look at contractors, you talk to contractors in the Colorado market. In the last couple of years with COVID and the lack of hail, you have to like change a lot of things. It made you adapt so much, I feel like. So tell me about that.
That's the word. That's the word that you just use, adapt. And I'm actually really grateful for it. As a young leader, as a young business owner, Elite was just like this. Okay,
Yeah.
so we just grew and grew and grew and grew and grew and grew and grew. And I think there's some arrogance that happens when that's what happens with your business. And so you start to think like, oh, I got this in the back, like I'm a great leader, which is true. I would say at the time, even I was a great leader. Before I was a CEO, I was a great leader with vision and all of those things. But until you have to learn to function in this,
Oh yeah.
like, I don't think you're truly a well-balanced or well-rounded leader until you have to
completely
like
agree.
sit across from people and say, I have to let you go, not because you're not an A player and not a good employee, but because like I have to secure this organization.
Yeah.
It's just a different thing.
That's a big conversation right there. Right?
It's a huge conversation, but you come out on the other side of it and then you watch the way those hard decisions start to mold the business into this new thing and back into this vibrant thing where you can start to rebuild your culture, where everything isn't just like stale. When you have too much staff is what happens is your culture really becomes stale because everybody's bored.
Is 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Nobody really has anything to like
Drive towards.
Exactly. And so like it's been so neat, so hard, Nick, so hard, but so neat to like be able to function in this, the ebb and the flow, right? The ebb 100%. Part of running business,
which is going to happen no matter what, right?
Absolutely.
There's no way that a company is just going to be going up. Eventually, there is going to be some kind of sticking point. And usually in those sticking points, those are the development opportunities. Right?
Yes.
Right? To get better, to improve, to kind of almost bring that drive back that you're talking about. I mean, we'll even go, in the beginning of the year, I felt like we were hitting on all cylinders. And I even went through that a little bit until we started to have one bad month. And then all of a sudden, you kind of, it wakes you back up, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you start to look at all the different initiatives that you kind of miss. And this is kind of a little bit far-fetched on this analogy here, but I even think, we got football starting right here, right?
Yep.
And I play fantasy football.
Yep,
okay?
me too.
So you do too?
Yep.
Perfect. Heck yeah, I love it. So you got to think, when my team's amazing, I'm not looking at free agents. I'm not looking at news. I'm not looking at trends, right? When I suck, I'm looking at all the free agents. I'm looking at the news. I'm consuming information. I'm like, how can I get better?
Yep.
It's the same thing. When your business is the best, right? Sometimes you forget to look at the little areas you should be improving on, right? Or the certain things that still need to get built or fixed.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, the things that you realize that maybe you're thinking, this is the thing that's making my business this wonderful thing. And then all that stuff gets pulled away and you're like, holy crap, that was just dumb luck.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't even skill.
It can get taken with you. It can get taken away from you so quickly.
You're like, wow, I need to refine this. Like, I need to refine how I treat my employees. Like, everybody's happy because everybody's making money. Maybe more so than like, maybe I'm not the best leader I thought.
So
maybe
true.
It was just
it really
that.
starts to open up your eyes, right? And they say, someone actually came on here, I forgot who it was, and it said that for successful leadership, they said that self-awareness is the number one trait that is correlated to successful the top leaders.
Yeah, I
right?
believe that 100%.
To be able to actually look at yourself, be like, hey, I was making this mistake, I was making this mistake, and it finally just blew up on me. And now you start to realize where you messed up. And if you have that self-awareness to reflect on it and get better, then you're off and running again. But I mean, hey, the best ability is availability. So if you show up on those down times, right, and keep going, you can't get beat, right? Can't get beat.
And you know what to do the next time.
Yep, exactly. So what are you guys kind of working on now personally? What do you say? I mean, is leadership been a big push for you right now, or like what are you kind of working on personally? What do you say right now?
I would say for me, well, right now I'm just because I said we've had to shrink down, I'm doing so much. Like 13 months ago, I had 5 people doing the position that I'm doing right now.
And now you're doing it.
Yeah.
So
5 people, I said, right?
Well,
13, right? Okay.
Yeah.
13 months ago, 5 people.
You did confuse me a little bit too there, but yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Yeah, 5 people. You took pretty much all their responsibilities now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how have you been able to do that? What's that been like?
So it's been a lot. I'm working a lot of hours and things like that. But it's been good to be able to step back in, to some of those roles and be like, okay, like where was this falling short?
This
Where
needs
did we
work
let
here,
this
this needs
go?
work
Who
here.
pulled this away? That this isn't really functioning inside of our values anymore. So it's
Yeah.
been nice. And now we're starting to grow again. So we're starting to fill those positions again and look for more people. But now I feel like we can do it with a little bit more insight than.
Yeah. So
where they
you've
left
been
after
busy
that.
to say
I've
the
been
least.
so
Then,
busy.
hey? Oh my gosh, I
Yeah.
love it. So when you're looking at Elite though, for kind of the rest of the year, is solar going to be pretty much the biggest initiative? Would you say, or you think it's going to be? I know commercials seems to be taking off for you guys really well too.
Yeah, commercial is like 60% of our book
Let's
of business
go.
now.
Oh, nice.
A commercial was like 5 to 8% of our business year over year,
Yeah.
pre-COVID.
Oh wow, that's crazy to think
Yeah,
about.
yeah, that shift that's happened. So yeah, it's like 60. I was looking at it this week. It was like 60%
That's
of our book of
unbelievable.
business. Yeah, it's crazy. I love it though. It's good. It's good. It's so much less like movement. You know what I mean? Like you're working on $1 million project over 6 weeks. there's a lot of little pieces that go into it, but it's still easier
one
than
project,
yes.
Because
than
you broke
roofing
that up
100
into
roofs.
residential. How many residential projects would that be? A lot.
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
So now it's just one
Just
customer.
one,
It was
yeah.
one customer to take care of now
One
instead.
point of contact. Yep.
So for those that know, Brie, she loves operations, right? That's
Yeah.
kind of the world that you live in. You
Yeah,
like
ops and
processes,
finance.
sales, right? Kind of actually building the business into something, and that's what the processes are, right? That's how you actually build value in your business. You got everything going on the residential side, right? And that was firing all cylinders. How, over the last few years, how has been building that out on the commercial? Like you said, it's way different than residential. So what was that kind of like, or how did you guys kind of handle building those out as you're learning on the go?
Yeah. For us, I think, the biggest thing was the hands-on aspect that comes with commercial. So that's kind of what we're missing. Like, we have quality control on residential, and we swing by the job sites, and, but it's just different. There's not as much. You can put a single ply roof on, relatively simple. There's just
So the processes are actually simplified now, would you say, in comparison, or less steps than residential?
It's kind of more steps than residential, because residential is like rinse and repeat, where commercial is very specific to each building, like the needs of each building. So like just the project management side, I think, has been the biggest shift for us. Whereas before, our salesmen on residential, we call them project managers because they manage the job from sale to collections. And we don't do that with commercial. We split that into like teams. So you have your salesman, but he's not your project manager. So then you have your commercial project manager that's actually managing the project on site every day, that sort of scenario.
What tips do you have for contractors out there that have residential, trying to get into that commercial world that everybody's trying to get into?
That's kind of my tip. I think that you really need to sit back and evaluate if that's the direction you want to go. It is more staff, it is more overhead, it is so much more liability. You know what I mean? You're working on buildings that will cost a whole lot more to fix if you were to get sued. New construction specifically, like for example, we're 100% away from new construction.
Staying away, yeah.
I do not do new construction. The liability is not worth it for the amount of margin. So we don't do any new construction. That's just a choice that we have to make. So I think people really should sit back, and as opposed to looking at it as a shiny object, really look at it in the full circle. Like, what is the real impact on my organization? It's going to take me 2 or 3 years probably to make money on commercial because the learning curve is so challenging.
Yeah, 100%. So what I like to do is Brie, you kind of build, you said the pros in the beginning before that question about commercial. And then there you said the cons, right? Because now you can weigh both of those options. I would say too, what do you think at like a financial standpoint? Do you have any tips there, making sure they're
Yeah, it's completely different. You need to make sure that you can back the project. So if you're doing $1 million project, you need to make sure that you have the cash flow to front what you need to front in regards to that, and that you make sure you're setting up all your contracts in a way that you have funds funneling in as quickly as they're funneling out.
Yeah, 100%. So keep the numbers in mind, right? We all want to get into commercial, but definitely keep the numbers in mind. Now, as a leader, now I definitely want to touch on leadership, right? Obviously, what I thought was cool is you kind of, as you went through the ranks at Elite, you pretty much did all the different positions, right? And so it's cool to have a leader. I feel like if I worked for Elite that has been there, done that, I think it's very relatable.
Yes.
Through these hard times, we're getting adapting, streaming all these things, having to go through a process where you had to let go of some people. What's been your big takeaway over the last couple of years just as a leader and as you've grown?
So what you just described, like the word that comes to mind when you talk about it is like credibility. Like, it's really, really good as a leader to be able to do the jobs of the people that are now doing the jobs.
Yeah, that's the word. Yeah.
Because it does create a lot of credibility for you. That's been a big focal point of mine for years and years and years, and it always will be credibility. Like, I want to walk into a room and I want the perception of the people that I'm walking into that room to be that I'm credible. And I think a lot of that is just being genuine and knowing what you're talking about.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, I mean, like I kind of talked about a little bit earlier, I think these last couple years, because we've been in this ebb stage, and it's been so much like mental toughness.
Mental toughness, grit.
Yeah, mental toughness. Mental toughness.
Do you feel like you absorb like harder challenges, I guess, better or than you used to?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I walked out of last year like I could have any conversation with anybody. Mm-hmm. Like,
oh yeah.
Why is this conversation hard after
yeah.
the conversations I had to have in the last year? Like, test me. What do you want to talk about? You want to get uncomfortable? Let's get uncomfortable. So yes, the whole, all of it, and just like, I guess grit's a good word for it too.
Yeah,
grit's a good word.
What about the culture? Because like you said, hey, when everyone was making all this money, everybody, it's easy, and I know the same thing too. It's like when we're growing, everything's hitting, we're like, that's easy.
Yeah.
What about the days where it's like you have to have the harder conversations? You have to like, how do you keep a good vibe in the building? That's a tough one.
It is a tough one. But I would say that speaking to that, like if the right people are in the right seats, that's going to happen naturally. And that's part of what even like letting go of these certain people and so on and so forth has really helped. Like, so I'm a blended family. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so I have a perspective that's a little different in family life than some, where I'm not all my kids are always at my house, right? So some weekends I only have 2 of my kids. Some weekends I have all 5 of my kids. Some weekends, even the grown ones will come. But what I've learned is that regardless of which set of kids are in my home, it changes the dynamic. So if I have 3 of my kids, like the whole dynamic of my home kind of shifts based on how many people are in my home. And that's the same thing with your business.
So true.
And so what you don't always realize is that one individual, and you guys have probably heard this a million times, and I don't.
Oh, I know it. Trust me. I know it though.
But one individual can bring such, I don't want to say oppression, but like that extreme.
The whole vibe changes.
Yes.
The whole vibe changes.
Yes. And they could be a freaking A-player employee. Yeah. They could be someone, they kick butt that like, you're leaving the office like, I don't know what I would do without this person.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But then everyone else is like,
they get so much work done in a day, and you know what I mean? And then like, but you step back and you're like, holy crap, they're massively impacting the vibe of the organization. And so if you're in an ebb flow, I think that is like magnified. Like you can really start to see like what people are like encouraging a negativity inside of the organization, as opposed to like, we got this, like we're a team, like we're gonna push through this together because we're freaking #elite family.
Yeah.
Exactly,
100%.
Exposes
for sure. 100%.
Yeah.
We got kickoff today, so I'm gonna do one more football analogy, right?
Do
Same
it.
thing, and it goes back to the vibe that you were talking about there. And it was an NFL scout, and he was like, hey, this player is so good, but he goes out and he'll go drink all night. But the thing is, he'll still play great. He'll still have 2 touchdowns. He'll still play great. The thing about him is he'll convince 6 more people to go out with him, and they can't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we're drafting another guy who convinces other 6 people not to go out.
Yep. Yeah, the impact on the team.
Because it just spreads.
Yeah, I love that.
Oh yeah, and like we were saying before, that when you preach family and stuff at work, it's easy when everyone's winning. Everybody's smiling. This is great, right? And then you kind of really actually have to come together during those harder times, because then it's like, all right, if you can get through those harder times together, then it's like, all right, then you got good people there for sure. So what about, is there, at a process standpoint, is there any, have you guys tried any new tools or technologies, or tried any new kind of anything, I guess, internally that you guys have been liking?
So, no, I don't think we've, I spent a lot of years putting all our technology into place and going paperless.
All into, so you use Job Nimbus, right? Everything's all into one system.
Yeah, we use Job Nimbus, our accounting software, QuickBooks, desktop. Don't make fun of me. I know I'm not an old lady, but we're still on desktop. Yep. Square 9 for all of our, document storage and stuff like that.
Sumo Quote, Company Cam that you guys use. Yeah, a lot of automation, stuff like that.
Yeah, a ton of automation,
automations.
Podium for texting.
Yeah.
So all our text automations go out, our schedules, all of that. Like a lot of years, a lot of time, energy, and effort into those things. And so now it's just to clean up random cleanup things. I know that kind of sounds silly, but it's like
Well, it's going back.
eventually you can
Yeah,
over technology
100%.
your organization.
Well, it's funny. There's even because I look at for me, I implement the technology for our company.
Yeah.
But then once it's implemented, I never pretty much like use it again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Someone else pretty much takes over, and then
Yeah.
it's like I don't really use it ever again. So then when I come back, it takes me a while to really kind of do it. But then you look at it, I'm like, oh, we can clean this up. And also because it's kind of a fresh perspective after not looking at it a while. So you can go back and definitely, and there's always new things you can add for
called
sure.
slop.
Slop.
Yeah, it's
lots
called
of
slop. You should do a slop audit every year. You should do a slop audit of your finances. You should do a slop
Yeah.
audit of your technology. You should just do a slop audit. So like what in my organization is literally nobody's using it, but I'm paying for it.
Oh yeah.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
you know, I was wondering. I actually have on my list is they have that thing. I think it's like Truebill or whatever, where you can use it and it'll like cancel all your subscriptions on your personal. I'm like, I wonder if they have that for business because I feel like I need to just go through it on both our checking or credits, whatever, and just be like, all right, buy too, because I can
Yeah.
imagine how much stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
You sign up for stuff, other people sign up for stuff.
yeah.
I
Oh,
have,
yeah.
I have an example of this, okay? Somebody in my organization set up an Adobe account.
yeah,
Okay, at some point.
yeah, which is not cheap. Adobe's not
No,
cheap.
we're like talking what?
Yeah.
$20.99 a month.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, $20.99 a month.
Okay, it is cheap. Never mind. I
Okay,
lied.
but for 3 years later,
Yeah, 3 years
nobody
later.
can get into the account. Nobody knows how to stop it. You know what I mean? It's
Oh,
like that's
yeah.
an example of like stop. Like if you paid 3 years for the subscription, nobody touches.
And the best is too is like they make you like really go through a process of trying to cancel it.
Oh,
Sometimes
yeah, it's a
too.
big deal.
Oh yeah, you're like,
Yeah, you're not the person that set it up. I'm like, my credit card's on it,
yeah,
bud.
yeah, I'm paying for it for the last 3 years, and yes, I'm not the person that's using it, so we need to cancel it now. Very well said. I agree with you. Cancel now, please. You
Yeah,
know?
there's
But
no refunds on that.
And on the slap thing too, you met. I was even today. I was like, man, we had a push. I think for the last couple months, we got a lot done. We were really effective. But then I like looked at my desktop. I looked at my files. I looked at all, and I'm like, everything was just a freaking mess. It was like that's just how it was. I was just like, and so even this morning, I spent a few hours. I just started cleaning up just random stuff, whether it was Drive stuff, it was my personal stuff, whatever it was. It's just because. Sometimes you gotta take that break at a certain checkpoints or sprints or whatever, and quick clean up, stay efficient.
Yeah, it's that messy desk analogy,
Yeah.
Like you're really clean here, like your whole office space. I love this like minimal feel because
Oh,
that's
yeah.
like what the vibe that you feel when you walk in.
Oh,
Like you
yeah.
walk into like, I don't know how all of our baby boomers ever functioned in the world, but like all of that clutter, like I can't, like if I'm like foggy in work or whatever, the first
Oh,
thing
yeah.
I do is like clear my space.
That's
Like,
great.
I clear my
That's what I
space
did.
out.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I was been feeling it. I was ripping for 2 months, and then I was like, I'm just not feeling it. And I just started cleaning stuff up. I started to kind of refresh. So yeah, I completely agree. Oh, hey there. You come here often? I feel like I see you every Wednesday, and you definitely caught my eye. I'll tell you one thing, you know how to stand out from a crowd. You already got a lot of great things going for you. I mean, I see your company, I see what you got going on. I want to be part of it. How about I give you my number and you send me a text? 720-796-4935. Hey, yeah, it's Nick, right? PeakLeads.io. I think we can help you generate some commercial roofing leads. Looking forward to chatting. Talk soon. So we got a game for you.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So we got a little trivia game. It's gonna be Who Wants to Be a Roofing Millionaire.
Okay.
So you get 2 lifelines. You get
Okay.
a 50-50, which will remove 50% of the wrong answers, leaving you with a 50% chance of getting it right. And then you have a phone a friend. So you can call anybody you want. If they don't pick up, you lose it. Now
Okay.
the questions are. just based on you more or less rather than roofing, okay? All right. So, and then at the end, I'll let you close out. So you get the floor for the last minute. So I usually say, hey, you can either leave with a quote, a book suggestion, something to work on, life advice, something positive, basically.
Okay.
All right. You ready for the first question?
Wait, hold on.
What do you
So
got?
I get a 50-50.
50-50, so there's going to be basically four responses.
Lifeline,
It'll
okay.
remove 2 of them.
Okay.
Okay, and then the phone a friend. You can call anybody you want. They can look it up for all I care. But if they don't pick up, you lose a lifeline.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right. So obviously you're a baller yourself as a businesswoman and what you've achieved. But this year was the first year that I was the first female CEO featured on the Fortune 500 list. Her name was Catherine Graham, CEO of the Washington Post. What year was this? Or sorry, I read it wrong. I'm gonna repeat this. I tried to jump around. What
I don't know
year?
the answer whether you repeat it or not, but go ahead.
So during one of these questions, I said the correct answer in the question that I wrote out.
Oh,
and
yeah.
and they're like, that's kind of a confusing question. I was like, what's so confusing about it? They're like, you said the answer. I'm like, damn it. Yeah, I'm not gonna give Regis a run for his money, I guess. Eh? That's when that show was good. I love when Regis was on there.
Yeah.
All right, what year was the first female CEO featured on the Fortune 500 list? Catherine Graham who was the CEO of the Washington Post. Was it A, 1972, B, 1985, C, 1960, or D, 1990? What do you think?
Let's go D.
It was
Just
A.
for guessing?
It was A, 1972.
See?
That's
close.
They're all pretty tough, just to let you know, too.
Are they?
Yeah.
This is not, I'm just going to tell you, pop culture is not really my jam, but
Hey, boy, hey, if you don't like any of the questions, you know who writes out the questions?
yeah.
Danae McDermott.
Okay,
So if you
okay.
have,
I got her
as
number.
always, hold on, I'll take a break. As always, I like to do this. If you guys have any issues with the questions or you feel like the answers were incorrect, whatever it might be, feel free to reach out to Danae McDermott at Danae, DANAE, at PeakLeads.io. All right. Now she has, and then she puts sometimes words in here that I can't even read, and I feel like an idiot. You know what I mean? All right, number 2, we got a roofing question. All right, on Elite's website, it mentions a stat that encourages customers to go with Elite to make sure their hail damage is covered. This stat says what percentage of roof inspections lead to approved insurance claims? Is it A, 60%, B, 20%, C, 43%, or D, 85%? That's yeah. And the next one, I can't even say a couple of the names, so it's all right.
Gosh darn it. I should know this because it's on my website.
Yeah,
right?
but hey, do you think you wrote the website copy? I highly
I
doubt
have
it.
not put a single sentence of content on that whole
Yeah,
website.
you don't do written content. I don't either.
No, I don't. In fact, I'm like, I'll just show up. Don't make me bring any content. Please don't make me bring any content. I don't want to make a slide deck. I don't want to do none of that. It's not my jam. It's Danae's jam.
It's Danae's jam. She loves that stuff.
She's made me some great slide decks, I think.
Yeah. Hey, if you want, I can make Danae do a trivia. You can make the questions for her, and I'll put that at the end, and I'll roast her at the end. What do you think? Yeah, let's do that.
I didn't get no warning on
No
this.
warning.
Who Wants to Be a Roofing Millionaire? Let's take my 50-50 thing.
All right.
I feel like I can't get this one wrong.
So now we got C, 43%, or D, 85%.
That's such a large
That
range.
is. I thought that was good. I thought I gave you a good range. I thought that I was
Repeat the
giving you a
question.
favor. All right. So, what percent of roof inspections lead to approved insurance claims?
I feel like 85% is high. But I also feel like this number I should know, but I don't. I'm going to go with C.
She's going with C, 43%, and that is correct.
Yes.
Good use of a lifeline. Good use of a lifeline.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done.
Nick's excited for me.
Well, now I have to go on to the one where I can't say any of the names, though. So now I look like the idiot. So thanks, Danae. All right. So you and Eli own Blended, a coffee roasting company. Mm-hmm. What do you think is the most popular coffee bean in the world?
Okay.
Is it A, Arabica? Is that it? Arabica? Arabica? Arabica. And then it's B, Labrica. God damn it, the name. And then C, Excella. And then D, Robusta.
I've never even
Heard of any of the words that I said incorrectly?
Yeah.
Did I say them that far off? So I said them so far off that she doesn't even know what the heck that is.
So I'm in charge of like finances and
Business operations. Finance.
I've never roasted a coffee bean in my whole life, but I do know all the kinds of coffees that we
Eli's
get.
the coffee
He would
guru.
know the answer to this question.
Is he available? You have a phone
yeah,
a friend. You
my
have
phone, my
you,
friend.
you have a phone a friend. Where's your phone at? I can grab it. You got it? Yeah, you might as well give him a call.
But then we're gonna have to repeat these words.
Oh, yeah, I know.
But that's all right.
You know what I'm gonna do? I think I got a hack here. I'm gonna make you Sam. I just texted you him, so put him on speaker.
Dang it. Oh, if I don't get it.
So those are the 4 options.
Hello?
Hey, babe.
Hey, what up?
Hey, so we're in the middle of the podcast. You're on speakerphone.
What's up, Eli?
Okay. Hey, what's up, man?
Oh, yeah, he told me to tell you what's up. Dang it. Okay, so we're in the middle of the podcast, and we're playing a game called Who Wants to Be a Roofing Millionaire? And I was asked a question, and I have an A, B, C, D or answer, multiple choice, and I don't know the answer. And one of my lifelines was I could phone a friend to answer the question for me.
All right, you put me on the spot, huh?
Yeah. So the question is, what is the most popular
Coffee bean in the world.
coffee bean in the world? Arabica,
Okay.
Liberica, Excelsa, or Robusta?
The first one, Arabica.
Boom. Lock
Is
it
it right?
in. That's right. Easy money for Eli over here.
See, I knew he would know. You're brilliant. Thank you, baby.
And you're beautiful.
Oh, and he's smart, eh?
All right, I might call you again. We'd
I
only have
love
one
it.
of those, huh?
Great use of a lifeline.
Okay, love you.
Great use of a lifeline there. I love it. 2 lifelines, well used. Well done. Well done. All right. As a Colorado native, you should know this one. That's what Danae says, at least. Denver is home of the longest commercial street in America, stretching 26.5 miles from the plains to the mountains. What street is it? A, Humboldt. B, Larimer. C, Spear. Or D, Colfax. I didn't know this one.
You didn't? Are you a native? You're not a native. No,
No.
yeah, Wisconsin.
5
duh.
years.
5 years. So I'm a native, but I feel like I'm black, so it doesn't qualify. I feel like I'm not like an average Coloradan native who owns a Subaru and goes skiing. This is not part of my life, but I'm going to go D Colfax because I know that goes from the plains to the mountains.
That's right. That's
it
right?
right?
That's right. Man,
Yes.
that's 3 in a row. Dang.
just-
All right. All right.
Just because of the way the street lays, though. The plains to the mountains was the key.
Hey, that's good though. That's good. Well done. That's 3 in a row. Let's see.
Yeah.
Can we get 4? Can we get 4 in a row? I'll tell you what.
Ooh.
If you get 4 in a row, I'll give you a gift here. Right? All right. I'll give
Okay.
you a gift right now. If not, you gotta leave right now.
Just get up and go.
Yeah, yeah.
Go
All right.
back.
So she says wild card question.
Okay.
A good start. All right. Cream Puff was the oldest cat who ever lived according to Guinness World Records. She was 38 years old, living from 1967 to 2005. What did she do every day that people attribute to keeping her alive so long? A, sat on the roof to get 5 hours of sun. B, drank coffee and heavy cream. C, walked laps around the lake. Or D, ate only organic cat food. That is a lot.
I feel like being out in the sun too much won't extend your life. I feel like neither does caffeine or dairy. It's got to be D, right? Because why else would we be talking about it in today's society?
Are you locking in that answer? D.
What was C again?
C is walked laps around the lake.
Physical activity. I'm going to go C.
So this 38-year-old cat named Cream Puff drank coffee and heavy cream every day for 38 years.
I should have thought about the strategy in this question, the coffee in relation to myself.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm going to give you a little gift anyways. What we got over here?
Okay.
All right. We got a little PeakLeads goodie bag in here. Check it out.
Nice. Am I opening it here?
Yeah, sure, why not?
It's the right thing to do.
And then remember, you got to close it out, so.
Okay. I know I just said too that I am black. I guess black people golf. Do black people golf? You ever met a black person on the golf?
You know, so Brittany's dad actually, so we go all the time. Look at that. Boom.
I like it. I see this here.
Yeah.
So I have to tell you a story. This one of my roofing suppliers got a new like sales rep, and it's a female. She's Hispanic, so she's brown. So I dig it. Like,
Oh yeah.
There's very, very few brown females in the roofing space, but especially in leadership.
Oh yeah.
And so she's this leadership position. She's beautiful, and I'm like, yes, we are changing the.
That's awesome.
We're changing the field. We're changing the field of view. And then she texts me and she's like, "You want to go golfing?" And I was like, We are breaking roofie stereotypes.
Yeah,
me
right?
and you. It's me and you together. We're breaking
so
the
you guys
stereotypes.
are you guys gonna go hit 18 or what?
No. That's exactly what I texted her. I was like, we are breaking roofing stereotypes. I'm not going golfing. But no, real story. I then texted her and was like, I have thought about learning to golf, mostly so that I can beat my brother.
Oh yeah.
I would love to go out there and beat my brother at golfing.
I'm gonna be honest. I suck. And Randy's good. He's been playing for a time, but I went with him one time and I did see him chuck a club.
Yeah, not surprising.
He did apologize after though. He said, "All right, I'm done. I'm sorry."
I feel like Randy's on his best behavior with me. He's so sweet. He knows like all this hard shell is actually pretty sensitive, so he doesn't do stuff like that around me very often. But I think that if I went out and kicked his butt at some golf,
he would chuck
throw
a club. I will tell you. I promise you, he will chuck a club if you beat him.
He would chuck a club.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll close out 1 minute of positivity.
Mm-hmm.
Let me think. I think I want to just touch on that credibility piece that we talked about earlier, because I think it is so massively impactful. Like if you want to be a good leader and you want people to, look back and people are actually following you, because otherwise you're not actually a leader, like be credible. And you're credible by doing things that make you credible.
Earn your stripes, right?
Earn your stripes,
If you're getting difficult tasks done, right? They're kind of grindy sometimes, not all the time, but like showcasing what you're capable of doing sometimes and getting nitty gritty with it. I think it's, a great way to lead by example.
Absolutely. And like, I think self-control is such a big part of that. Like people need to see that you're even keeled and that you're not emotional and that you're not freaking out in the moments that most people would be freaking out, and that your behavior, is that of a leader.
Even keel, not too high, not too low. Even keel.
Yeah, always moving the passion, but not by slamming doors.
Yep, amen to that. Well, Brie, thank you so much for hanging out. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet. Always a pleasure to come hang out with you for a bit, Nick.